What grip should you take on the lat pull down? I'm gonna show you. All right guys, there's a ton of things going around the internet from really smart people that say, hey, when I take a really close narrow grip, some people call it a baby handle, it doesn't work your lats or your back. Throw it in the garbage. Well, what does it feel like when you do it? Because when it feels like when I do it, it's feeling like my lats are gonna rip off the bone. And also my teres. So I definitely think there's a place for it. Now, I will say this, as you guys have been watching like one of these back routes that we just posted from my rebound, you know that I like the outer side grip of this Swiss Bar from EliteFTS. And that's right, it sets up really well for me. I can drive my elbows down, put them in my rib cage, squeeze my lats really, really well. But just because that feels great doesn't mean there's not a place for ones that are more on the more narrow side. But on the opposite side of that, I see a lot of people say, oh, well, Chris, you use the wide grip. The wider you go, that's gonna get you more width on your back. What's funny is I believed that for a long time. And you take a regular standard lat pull down bar like this and go all the way to the end and do your pull downs. But guess what? When I did that, all I ever felt was rear delt and biceps. But because I've read over and over in every damn magazine that I watch, you gotta do these, you gotta do these. You want your back to develop, you gotta do them. So like a good dumb meathead, I said, you know what? You're right, I'm gonna get brutally strong with these. I'm gonna keep doing them week after week, even though I do not feel them in my lats. Guess what that did? That led me to not having a back. So shocker, right? I knew all along that a neutral grip for me felt best for my back, or a semi-supinated grip, meaning not all the way neutral or not all the way underhand, because that puts a lot of stress and tension on my bicep, but in the middle between neutral and underhand. So a fully neutral grip or a semi-supinated grip always felt best for me. On top of that, the single arm being able to isolate each lat also felt the best to me, which is why you see me do a workout like this that we did at any time. I'm able to isolate each side of my lat, crush that muscle, and really make it pumped, because I'm only working the right side when I'm on the right hand, I'm working the left side when I'm on the left hand. So let me show you this Swiss Bar and talk through each one of these grips. I'm gonna get him to pin down to the floor here, and I'll talk through how you can set this up if you don't have one of these fancy Swiss Bars. So the widest grip, a more moderate grip, and then a very narrow grip is how you could very much simulate these. And again, that's not perfect like this EliteFTS bar is, because it's spaced evenly, so the jumps are gonna be incremental. With that, it's a great way to simulate it. Now, let's say, hey Chris, like I'm willing to invest some money, but they don't no longer sell this at EliteFTS. What could you do? The prime bar, and simply just rotate these in and out, right? These carabiners. A great way, you just attach 2 D handles to them, and you can go all the way narrow to all the way wide. So again, you can do this and set it up on your own, but today for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna show you the Swiss Bar from EliteFTS because I absolutely love it. All right, so the widest grip here, this is the one I'm gonna choose when using this bar. If you say, hey Chris, you get to choose one for the rest of your life, because watch when I do these. You see how that all lines up perfectly? Now, at the same time, when I move in one hole spacing, I'm gonna show you a couple of these reps. So you'll see it's slightly inside of my shoulder width. It still felt really great for my back and lats. Now, let me show you the most inside or most narrow grip. Now, I want you to notice there. Did you see how on the more narrow grip, I could get deeper of a range of motion? Because it's not creating any impingement there, right? So, when people argue this narrow, small baby grip isn't working, that's why I just kind of like poo-poo that idea in my mind, right? Like, those really smart people like to take textbook anatomy, like to the point where, hey, just go in there and try it and see what it feels like. Like, just because a textbook says it might not be great, why don't we try and experiment with it? What's the harm in that? So when I do those, I feel those in my back. And as you can tell with the range of motion, it's deeper. Let me show you again. I'm going to the widest grip and go to the most narrow. You tell me which one's deeper. That literally is as far as I can pull down. I cannot get any deeper. That right there is as deep as I can get. It's to my chin. Now, narrow, same weight. More exhausted. You think, oh, Chris can't get it to that chest. Watch this. I'm not manipulating anything other than my hand spacing. Sometimes you just have to get in here and do things that feel good. It doesn't matter what some fancy PubMed study says. Do what crushes your back. And to me, all 3 of those grip spacings do that, but in a different way. So when I say which one you should choose choose the ones you feel in your lats the most. Or do all three. Again, crazy shocker, right? What if every week you just alternated the spacing? So week 1, week 4, you were at the widest. Week 2 and week 5, you were at the middle. And week 3 and week 6, you were at the most narrow. And you restarted that progression when you started your second grouping of 6 weeks. There's no reason you couldn't do that, guys. So at the end of the day, listen to your body. Be intuitive about your grip spacing. Be intuitive about your attachment selection, and do what you feel the most. Not what Chris says, not what the internet says, not what your favorite pro says or your favorite trainer says. Do what you feel. I'm telling you, that's where the magic is. If you have a handle over there that no one talks about, but it drills your lats, do it. Do it now, do it a lot, get strong at it, and just run that bitch into the ground. You want your back to be better? That's my advice. So what pull down should you do? The one you feel the most. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, more brutal truths from Chris.